recommended that the board approve the following for the 17-18 school year: out-of-state trips, coaches, substitute custodians, 18-19 coaches, and stipends to be determined contingent upon the submission of the necessary documentation.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Made second. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Education Committee, Mrs. Eileen Weiser.
It is recommended that the board approve the following for the 2017-2018 school year: policies, letter of agreement, homebound student, professional, employee, resignation, family and medical leave, unpaid days, unpaid leave of absence, intermittent family and medical leave, rescind motion contingent upon the submission of the necessary documentation, stipends to be established.
Make a motion to forego the readings.
Motion to forego the reading. Is there a second? Any second? Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Back to the original motion. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Made second. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Finance Committee, Mr. Dan Shannon.
It is recommended that the board approve the following for the 2017-18 school year as presented: tax report refunds, delinquent taxes, audit proposal, rescind motion, contingent upon the submission of the necessary documentation.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Made second. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Communications,
None tonight.
payment of monthly board
Make
invoices.
a motion for payment of the monthly board refunds.
Motion's on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Made second. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Old business, new business, other business, hearings. Now, we have a lot of people here. I don't know who wants to speak, but we're going to try to limit the comments. There may be 3 minutes just so that we don't have to hear all night, okay? Identify yourself.
My name is Liz Pinky. I'm a resident of 237 West Broad Street in this district. First of all, I had a very different set of remarks prepared for this evening. However, at 7 o'clock this morning, I was contacted by Larry Wittig. The purpose of this call was ostensibly to set the record straight and to tell me her side, by which I assume she means Larry's side of the story. I will spare you the details of the rest of this conversation, but suffice it to say that prior to that conversation, I did not think my opinion of this situation could be any lower, and it actually managed to be lowered. I won't go into any more details on that, but I do not appreciate those tactics. Secondly, regardless of what Mr. Wittig has done, has not done, has admitted, and let's be clear, there has been an admission, what he has been accused of, this situation is a distraction and a black mark on this district and this town. Mr. Wittig has removed himself from the State School Board of Education. In fact, I commend him for stepping down and removing the taint from that organization that has now followed him here. The board at Drexel and Thomas Jefferson have also asked that he not associate himself with them any longer. I am glad that he respected their wishes and stepped away. I am glad that he respected the state of Pennsylvania enough to step away and remove the taint from them. Do the people of this town deserve any less? Do the students of our district deserve any less? Are you afraid that those other organizations would have started digging and uncovered more skeletons? Or do you believe that the people in this room are buffaloed enough and no one here will ask any more questions? Whether or not the things that happened that have been described by several women, the story is out there. Recently, I attended a swim meet in Bucks County. I was wearing a Tamaqua t-shirt. Someone said, hey, we don't see people from Tamaqua that much here. And then he said, hey, didn't I see something about Tamaqua in the news recently? Honestly, I turned my back and walked away from that conversation because I did not want to have to address what he has heard about Tamaqua in the news, nationally, locally, and in places like the Wall Street Journal and CNN. There has been, in the spirit of #MeToo and #TimesUp, this cannot be ignored. There has been and will continue to be an aftermath that this district and these children do not deserve to have haunt them and hang over their heads. What is this district going to do about the looming budget crisis? Why doesn't the 6th grade have enough textbooks for every student in the class, in every class? What is this board going to do to prevent Tamaqua from becoming the next Parkland and the next statistic? I would like to know the answers to those things. I would like to have a conversation about those things, but instead, I'm here wasting my time and your time, asking you why someone who has exhibited such poor judgment and acted so inappropriately continues to be your leader and our leader. Finally, I was asked by several people from various groups in this community if I would stand up here tonight and speak. Many of these people wanted to say something, but were afraid of the repercussions. Honestly, until this morning's phone call, it wasn't something I was worried about, but I think I see why they feel the way they do. It is true I stand to lose, but after the last board meeting, the statement was made that no one has asked for his resignation. I am here, I am asking for it now, and I am asking for it on behalf of those who are too scared to speak up and for those whose voices have been ignored for too long. I am involved with a number of youth organizations that utilize the district facilities. I could lose that privilege. I will find other teams and places for myself to be involved in. My children could well face repercussions in school tomorrow. Ultimately, if we must leave this district, so be it. There are other school districts. Doing that would mean losing or changing my job. I will find a new job. I am sure that there are many ways that you, a man of wealth, privilege, connection, and obviously many friends, can make my life miserable. I will overcome anything you want to throw at me. But if I don't stand up here tonight and say that Larry Wittig needs to step down from this board and should resign immediately, I will lose my integrity, and you don't get integrity back. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak?
Mr. Wittig, I'd like to speak.
Yes, sir.
My name's Michael Kistler. I reside in New Ringgold. I'm a 91 graduate of Tamaqua High School. I haven't attended a school board meeting prior to this. I'd like to take the time to thank the board and Mr. Wittig for an outstanding job that they do and continue to do. When you don't come, I just never came to a school board meeting. 99% of what happened here in the school I agreed with. The other 1% I probably thought I was ignorant, and that people like yourselves would be able to handle any crisis that came up. And previous boards, I'd like to thank them. It's been long overdue for me and my family to say thank you, and we applaud your taking the time and devotion. Mr. Rotet, I think that you handled it properly in the paper. To paraphrase, when you told the paper, the reporter, that you can't prove anything. Mr. Wittig, I don't believe that you've been accused of a crime. I don't think you've been charged with a crime, have you? Okay. Is there anyone here that feels, that anybody knows that he's been charged with a crime?
He has admitted to committing adultery.
He has not been charged
I
of
don't
a crime.
care.
Now wait, ma'am, I didn't interrupt you.
I'm not saying
Okay.
it's a crime, it's a moral question.
He is an upstanding man in our community. He has done so much for this school district. We need him more than he needs us. Many of you people, especially people in town, are in their homes because of this gentleman right here. I would have nobody else other than the people right here, or past board members, to help run this school for my children. Okay, I heard all these things on the phone. People that don't know anything about anything, don't know Mr. Wittig, being interviewed. To be the president of the State School Board Association, did you tell that gentleman at the swim meet? Yeah, he's a proud guy. He knows his stuff. We have the #1
Then
school
why
board.
isn't he still
I'm not-
serving?
That's what I'm saying.
Why isn't he still serving?
That was his decision, and he made the right decision.
And
Good
he
for
needs
you.
to make
You don't
the
need
right
to stress,
decision
Larry.
here.
You don't need to stress. Okay? But I can tell you this, if you think this is a big deal, do you know some of the things that are going on in the school right now? That they probably know and you don't? You have 3 young kids.
I did not
I have
send
a
my
20-year-old
children to
daughter.
this school for a long time.
This is my time now.
Keep asking her.
Okay?
You are
I
asking
know
me questions.
I know that she's a devoted mother and does a wonderful job. Okay? I have a 20-year-old daughter that goes to Missouri University, a 10th grade son here. Outstanding kids. They love their teachers here. But you don't know. It's a lot different in 26 years than when you and I went to school and your husband graduated together. It's totally different. You can't imagine what's coming. Okay? What we go through now. Everything is different in this school. It is. Okay? We long for the days when Mrs. Jones taught me and Mrs. Miser taught me. We aren't getting those days back, and your mom taught me. They're gone. This is no big deal. Right now, I understand there's a kid in these halls that made a couple threats, and he's still here. These are major problems. Is that right or wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. And I don't know that you can do anything about that, I'm saying. Right now, there's a kid running red lights on a bus. We can't do anything about. We have to set up a new busing solution for West Penn because they got to leave so that when the kids are there on time at 3:30. I'm telling you, if this was a problem, I would be the first one to say, Larry, please. It's not worth you to have the stress and everyone else. Believe me, it's not. Molestation, predation, I'm telling you, I'm not, spousal abuse, I'd be the first one to stand up against it if anyone hurt a child that I know. If I thought anyone was ever a threat to a child, I'm telling you. And anyone that knows me knows that, and I tell the truth. But I'm telling you, thank goodness my kids are almost out of here. Thank goodness. But thank God they were here to see them through. Because you can't imagine. Talk to other parents at other school districts, and they'll tell you, this is the #1 school board right now in the state of Pennsylvania. When people look at our school, they look at our school board. I'm telling you, I know all these people personally. I know all of you personally. Most of you personally. I lie, I don't know a couple of you personally. I think you're doing a wonderful job. Hang in there. And Larry, you know, you're a competitive guy. I don't want to see you be stressed out by all of this. You don't deserve this, and you don't need this. You can walk out them doors right now. You're not defeated. You kept us in the game for a long time. Let all the naysayers handle this down the road. There's a lot, you told me, there's some stuff coming down the road for our public schools. You better hope and pray these people hang around and handle it. Because I'd hate to see the next group come through and try to. Thank you.
West Penn Township, and I probably know Larry since I'm that high. I'm sorry to see that you left the State Board of Education because that was a star for small Tamaqua. As far as the taxes and the pension problem, Liz, I think you need to go talk to our state representatives when they pass that midnight bill increasing pensions and never telling us how to fund it. And you know how it's going to get funded? It's going to get funded on everybody's back here. Everybody's back, taxes, unless they change the system. I think Larry has led this school board and convinced people who probably didn't want to run for the school board, and he has organized a great group of people that have maintained our taxes where they have. Whether or not they can continue to do that because of things that are totally beyond their control is going to be another question. So, Larry, I hope you stay on the board. You've organized a great board under your tutelage. This school district has elevated itself to a point where we are envied by other school districts in this area. You just read the paper. You want to read the paper, read about the problems they're having down in Lehighton. The last school board meeting they had to cancel because they couldn't agree to appoint one new school board member. The level of education at Tamaqua here has been good. I have a son that graduated from here, went on, got a degree from Penn State. He's now the lead electrical engineer at Mack Trucks in Macungie. I have a daughter that graduated from here. She's a biologist for Merck. These are credentials that are good. They got that from the beginning education here at Tamaqua. I don't want to see that lost. So I hope that Larry and his school board remain here. And one more thing. You're talking about things that Larry did. Yes, he admitted he had an affair. That's under the water 35 years ago. There are things that your husband, by the way, you introduced yourself as Liz Pinky and not Mrs. Bean. Your husband roomed with my son out of Penn State. And I hear some of the stories that went on out there. But you know what? What happened at Penn State stays at Penn State. So don't throw stones.
If my husband ever raped a woman, I would be the first one.
That was proved in court that it never happened. Proved in court. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Tim. Eileen Kometz is my business partner. She does not live in the school district, but she asked if she could read a letter that she created. I had nothing to do with it. All I did was approve that she could read it now.
First of all, I want to commend the board for having the courage to do the right thing, supporting my dear friend and business partner Larry Wittig, and for recognizing all the good he has done for the community. He is certainly an asset to the Tamaqua School Board, and you're lucky, very lucky to have him. In the weeks to come, and in the past, you've heard some negative comments regarding your decisions from people who do not know him. I understand there's a lot of negativity, and I'm seeing it here tonight. So I believe that there's something very important and significant for me to share with you all. The story presented by the female rower would have had a lot less impact on Larry's reputation if it had not been for that court case filed against him, of which he was acquitted. When Larry hired me, I remember my uncle, Albert Appenavage, Uncle Whitey we called him, telling me that he thought Larry was an okay guy. He said it was a shame that he had been charged with raping a girl who was likely just looking for a cash settlement. Uncle Whitey had served on that jury in that case, and he told me that there were just too many inconsistencies in the girl's story for it to be true. He was sure that Larry was not guilty, and the rest of the jury agreed. Without mention of that court case, what you have is one person's side of the story and a lot less credence to that side. That particular incident should have been removed from the equation altogether. You see, Larry, his accuser never mentioned that she was forced to do anything. There was no mention of any involvement with drugs or alcohol like a Bill Cosby. There was no mention of any threats to her rowing career. And he had absolutely no influence over her life career like the Weinsteins. Furthermore, at the time that their relationship began, he was no longer her coach and could have had no undue influence over her in any way, shape, or form. Her story, however, led people to believe that he was her coach at the time. She said she believed she was coerced. How could there be coercion when there's no consequences for non-compliance? This person is a psychologist attorney who likely knows how to use words to imply something without really saying it, to avoid an outright lie. And people tend to believe the worst in others. That's what sells newspapers. From my own experience, in the 23 years that I have worked for and with Larry, there has never been one dirty joke told, not one sexual innuendo, not one appropriate look, not one appropriate touch involving myself or any of my coworkers. He's always been a champion of women's rights and has said that he always wants to treat women with the same respect that he would want for his own sisters, and he does. When I first graduated from college with my accounting degree, summa cum laude, at the age of 40 years old, I faced rejections from the large and medium-sized accounting firms. I believe it was more age discrimination than anything. But Larry is the one that gave me a chance to learn and to prove myself and to earn my certification as a CPA. And more than that, he even offered me a partnership interest in what had always been a family business. I am ever so grateful to Larry for my own career, and it truly breaks my heart to see him persecuted so unjustly just because someone has gall to say something untrue. So Larry made a mistake many years ago. He had an extramarital affair. This is something I don't condone, but all human beings make mistakes. But he who is without sin casts the first stone.
Anyone else? Motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?